What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode number 10 of the Dudeality podcast, where our motto is living comfortably uncomfortable. My name is Ian Perez, as always, joined by Victor Rivera, Chris Zora, and live and in person, Jonathan Mercado. We're four ordinary dudes with extraordinary dreams. So that invisible oop, toss it up, slam it. He wishes he could jump.
There you go.
He wishes he could jump.
If you're listening to the car, watch the YouTube. I just slammed it all over everyone just now. And man, let's go ahead and start this thing off, guys. Positives from this past week, as always. Nothing but good vibes.
I had a little getaway with the family. Went to Corpus Christi, so that was pretty cool. Went out there, disconnected from a lot of things, and spent time, just hanged out. Too cold to go in the water. It was near the beach, but it was still too cold, but it was pretty cool. We visited a lot of spots. My daughter's birthday is Selena themed, so we visited a lot of Selena's from Corpus Christi. So we visited her grave site. She has a statue there. So it was pretty cool spot.
I got a question. Now, this has been years ago, but when someone says Corpus Christi, when somebody says Corpus Christi to me, I think of when the oil flooded and it's black water. What's the water like?
Well,
you guys remember that?
I
like a pipe busted?
And yeah. The water is fine. I'm sure they cleaned it up, but there was a lot of refineries out there. You see them like from the beach. You can see like refineries on the far.
All right. Well, hey, shout out to you for being intentional with family time.
Yep.
You got Chris?
I met with the financial advisor for the first time.
About time. If I had to just guess out of all of us, who would have had a financial advisor, it would have been you.
Well, I kind of just did the research on my own, so that's why I never really jumped on it. But it is time where I need to look more into that. So yeah, so I met up with him and things were good. And then this weekend was the first time I've been to a sports bar to watch the fights since the lockdown. And it was interesting. Like, I felt a little uncomfortable because there were a lot of people without their masks on. But
yeah, did you go to Hooters?
No, I went to Little Woodrow's.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, with that mask mandate being over, everyone's just ready to take off that mask.
Oh, was that a couple of days? Wednesday, huh? 3 days.
Yeah, but people are ready to.
It's going to be wild going outdoors and seeing people with masks and people without them. I'm just going to put that bad boy on until...
Yeah, I stayed at the bar and kept mine on. I was like, unless I was taking a sip from my beer, but other than that, I kept it on.
What'd you drink?
Purple Haze.
That's a good one.
Purple Haze.
I heard of that.
Sounds like an illegal drug.
Depends on where you're at.
Ian, what'd you do, my man?
This week, positives. I worked out 4 times this past week for like the first time in ever.
We got to work out actually together yesterday.
Yeah, got a good little pump in as a pool day. But yeah, that was a big win for me. That's about it, really. Other than that, just basic work and enjoying family time. Home stretch for my wife on baby number 3. She's been awesome. I know she hurts and stuff like that, but she's taking like a champ. So shout out to her.
I'm glad you brought that up because we just moved, and so I'm just trying to do the best that I can for my wife because it's the post-pregnancy, and she has all these kids, and our newborn is about a month and some days in, and he's just constantly feeding. And if anybody's breastfeeding out there, they know that how taxing and mentally exhausting that is. And so there's just times where I have to be intentional, where like, Jonathan, just ask your wife, what can you do to help her? And it's been so hard because I've been so exhausted because if you guys don't know, I just moved to another house. That's like two houses or 2 moves in like 3 months. So moving is probably the most stressful thing you can go through besides pregnancy. But it's up there. I think moving is pretty ridiculous. Even though we hired movers, I felt bad for the movers when they came because it was a father and his 16-year-old son who was about 6'2", 100 pounds.
Damn.
Yeah, oh, bro. And so for me sitting there, I'm like this muscular dude watching this kid try to lift these heavy things. And I was like, this is going to take all day.
Let me spot you.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I just went in and I just helped them the entire from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then, the aftermath of moving, like, okay, cool. You got everything moved. Now here comes the unboxing, the organization, the throw it. Like that's the phase we're in. So literally it's like 2 weeks of nothing's happening in life, but moving and getting back into a good routine.
Crazy, man.
It's crazy. So, hey, just quick question. Vic, when's the last time you moved anywhere? Like, how long have you been in your spot?
Man, I've been here like 6-7 years now.
6-7 years.
Yeah, and when I moved, I didn't have a lot of stuff. Like I've never had. This is probably the most stuff I've had. This has been like probably because when I moved from Cali, I didn't have any stuff. And then when I lived in my apartment, I really didn't have a lot of stuff. I didn't have furniture or anything other than the bed and like dining table. And then so this is like part of the time I had. When I moved from here, I'm probably gonna feel what you feel right now.
Yeah.
All the stuff, the garage is full, stuff like that. But yeah, no, I haven't moved like it's been 7 years, 6-7 years.
It's a good time. Chris, what about you? How long you been in your new house?
It's been about a little over 3 years now. I'm almost approaching 3.5 years.
Did you hire movers? Because I don't remember helping you out.
Yeah, we hired movers because our apartment, we were on the 3rd floor, so all the heavy furniture, it was like, yeah, we'll just have them do it. We took
I think I was
all like
sick
the
that
smaller
day, too.
boxes.
Yeah, 3rd floor. I was definitely sick with something.
Yeah, and then like literally that day, I was supposed to go to Jacksonville the next day, so once I got into the new house, I had to pack to go to Jacksonville. So I didn't even. That was a long day.
Ian, what about you, man?
We actually are renewing our lease, so we've been here 2 years. It'll be 3 years, and then before that, we were in another house for 2 years. So I've moved a good bit since being on my own or with Steph and the kids.
My moves have been dramatic. They came from a 5-bedroom house filled with a lot of furniture. Then I downgraded to a 2-bedroom apartment to try to, minimize my life and save money. And then I went from a 2-bedroom apartment to house hacking with my in-laws, which was a 1-bedroom that me and my wife had held. And so I just got rid of a lot of stuff. Even though we don't have a lot of stuff, it was helping them move 10 years of their stuff to this next house. And I don't know about you guys, but the Mexican culture, they don't get rid of things. They do not get rid of anything. There's closets filled with just miscellaneous. You don't know what you're going to find. Things that still have the price tag, things that are gifted that never got sent out. 8 years ago, there's a birthday present somewhere in the closet. And so it was pretty wild, man. So I'm glad that we're almost settled. But hey, fun topic, guys. Fun topic is, since I'm moving, it came upon me of what side of the bed do you sleep on and why?
Side closest to the door.
Side closest to the door. Okay.
It's a protection thing for me.
I don't even think about it. I just sleep on the left side.
Which is that side closest to the door, or is it?
It is close to the door, but that's just because how the bed is. If the bed was sitting, I would still be on the left side. I've always slept on the left side.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I didn't thought about it either.
Yeah, I was thinking about it because I had to figure it out. What side am I sleeping on again?
I've always slept on the left side. I've never slept on the right side. That's funny. We didn't even talk about it. It just happened. For years.
Yeah, it's
a subconscious habit. That's funny.
That's why I'm asking, because it's not some normally we don't talk about what side of the bed do you sleep on. And actually, some people have a purpose of why they sleep on a certain side, or it's just like out of habit. I just normally sleep on this side.
Yeah.
Chris?
For me,
Like, sleep on
it's always
both.
been more. It's been more on the side of the same like Ian, like on the side closest to the door. I think part of it probably I would say is for protection, but it's more just for her comfort. Like for me,
I think
I
I'd
can
rather
sleep on the other
have
side.
her on that side for protection than you.
Okay. Okay.
I just play. It's, so normally that is my purpose. I intentionally want to sleep on the side closest to the door so I can be ready in action, like just ready, right? I'm a black belt, so since I was 13.
In what world?
When I was 13, then I stopped. Like I reached black belt level, but it was at age 13. Like I don't think that even counts. But I was thinking about it again. I was like, oh, I want to go back to the side close to the door, but my circumstances changed because Desi needs the side that has the most room for her and the baby. And that typically is the side closest to the door because we moved and we're fixing the bed. And I was like, oh, I get the side closest to the door again if I can have that like that sense of I'm going to protect. But then I was like, oh, Desi's been pregnant all my life almost. So
it feels like it.
So she's always had the side closest to the door because of the bassinet type scenario. But I'm excited to try to get that back. It's been like almost 15 years since I had that side. All right, guys. That was a little fun topic. That was pretty cool. Let's get into today's topic, which is going to be run your day. So it's crazy to think about is everyone has the same 24 hours in a day, but why do some people get further than others? Right. And there's a scientific reason why people are just getting further. They're getting more things done in less time. And some of you guys are just probably spinning your wheels. So, the Dudeality crew here, like always, goes to research, right? We're trying to figure out what is the reason behind this and how can we help you get stuff done in less time, which is basically just studying successful people, right? I mean, they all leave the same blueprint. There's always a trend. And so, we have a list of things, of course, that's going to maybe help you wherever position you are. Maybe you're an entrepreneur, you're an 8 to 5 who wants to try to do the right thing, or you're just an 8 to 5 that maybe wants to make it to the next level in their career. You always have an opportunity to outperform somebody else just by knowing how to run your day like a boss. And once again, the people that you may look up to, whether it be your favorite entrepreneur, your favorite most successful person in the world, they all did something different. And so today's podcast is going to be about what did they do? So let's go ahead and pop it off. As normal, who's going to start first? What did you learn? What are some things that you think successful people, or what are the best choices to manage your day and run it like a boss so you can be very successful on your route?
I'll pop it off first. One of the things, there's a couple of things that stood out, and some things I already do or been doing for a while. So I come from like a manager type world, 9 to 5 world, where you had to manage your time and kind of and be good at it. You never really master time management, right? But you can't get really good at it. But one of the things that I've found as well to be very good, I'm a morning person, so I do a lot of things. If I can do everything before noon, or get my most important things out the way in the morning, that's probably the best time to do it. And then when I was doing research and reading, a lot of successful people, or millionaires, CEOs or whatnot, really start their day early. They start their day early and invest in themselves first, before tackling any type of task, right? And that's so if it's they'll start their day with either some exercise, going for a walk, doing whatever, and just getting themselves kind of collected and ready for the day. They won't check email, they won't check like social media, they won't do none of that stuff. They'll invest in themselves first, right? And then once they've done their their exercise, they're listening to podcasts, self-development or meditation, whatever they're doing, right, to get them ready, right? And then they start their day actually at like a task, like getting to the task. And
let's break that down real quick. Let's break that down because you're on it. If you follow successful people, the vast majority, I wouldn't say all of them, but a vast majority of them, they want to win their morning, right? And that's what you're alluding to, is they want to win the morning by self-care first. And what are the reasons behind that? That self-care, I believe, is that motivation, that inspiration, that self-gratitude to handle the stressors of the day-to-day, right? And so if you don't do that first, and you happen to, hit stress first, you didn't really build the foundation for the day. All right. So when you get hit with a stressor, like you're already weak. And then here comes another one, because, it's life. It's like things happen throughout the day. And whether you know it or not, you did prepare for it or you didn't prepare for it. And so winning your morning, like Victor says, I think it's massive. And I think we know that that's important, but we aren't doing it.
Yeah, a lot of folks just kind of get up at the very last minute, right? They're just like waiting, snoozing until they have to wake up, go to work, grab something quick to eat on the way, right? Coffee in hand, I don't know, muffin in the other or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then going to work, not really collecting themselves first and then tackling their day. And I practice this, and I found out that when I'm rushing through things, right, where I don't really invest the time in the morning to either work out or have just a little time for yourself, right, to kind of, right, get yourself ready. I feel like I don't tackle the day like I would have. And then when I do, kind of get up a little earlier, do a couple, me and Jonathan, we're trainers, we get up at 3 a.m. And so sometimes I might get up a little early just to get a little 10 minutes to myself, to where I'm not doing anything except like doing something, right? And that helps kind of you get better in for the day.
That's good that you said that. Not everyone can wake up at 3 a.m, like me and Vic. But I do want to, shout out one of my son's teachers. She's a teacher, right? So she goes in at 6:30 or 7, and she's there. And I think teachers probably have the most stressors throughout the day. They're dealing with kids. So that's a lot of energy that's getting used up by them. But when I see her virtual, I never had the opportunity to see this teacher teach my son, because they've been live, right? They'll go to school and I never get to see what happens in school. But now that they're virtual, I'm working, I can hear what's going on. And so this teacher is a CG camper. That means she trains with me and I train her, but I never knew how awesome she was as a teacher. And so when you look at awesome people, you want to just see, well, what makes them so awesome? Well, because she does so well with my son. He's a very creative person. So he thinks slower to get things done, right? He has a lot of things going in his mind. So he's very creative, and she has the most patience for my son. I can hear it. And I'm like, man, I didn't know she was such great. I didn't know she was so good at her job. And then I started to think about, well, why wouldn't she be, Jonathan? She wakes up at 4 a.m. to work out with you at 4:45 a.m. And comes to find out, when she wakes up, her name is Carrie Price, by the way. She wakes up and she gives herself 5 to 10 minutes of just her. Like, I don't even know this about her until I had to ask. I was like, well, there's got to be a reason why she does so well and she's performing at a high level, because, some teachers, it's stressful and they can't handle it, but she is like a champ. And so I love to diagnose things, and I want to know why, why is she doing so great? She has that first 5 to 10 minutes to herself. Then she trains with me, exhausted. I'm like kicking her butt. And then she goes to work. So she's already winning her self-care, her physical fitness. Her mind is like, right, she's already had these W's under her belt. So when she goes to school, it's like, Jonathan already kicked my butt. I already woke up at 4 a.m. Like, nothing can be harder than that. And so just want to say, hey, anybody you see out there that's doing awesome, they're doing extra stuff. All right, guys, they're doing extra stuff. So what other things that you think, how do you manage your day? How can you outperform the person and get to the next level?
I mean, for me, what I've learned in this past week is you see all these people doing extra things and you're like, okay, well, they must not be sleeping a lot. They're giving themselves an extra hour compared to me. I'm not a morning person. But there's actually a picture I saw on Instagram, and it did some math, which I like numbers. So in a week, you have 24 hours every day, so that gives you 168 hours total in your week. You you contribute 40 of those hours to work, 56 hours to sleep. So it leaves you with 72 hours throughout the week for you to get stuff. That's 3 full days in the week for you to accomplish a goal or learn a new skill or sharpen a tool that you have. But a lot of us, we do our 40 hours and then we play games all day, or you binge watch Netflix, and you're trying to figure out where all the time is when it's a simple fix, and you just kind of plan your day accordingly. And not a lot of us do that. Like once 8 to 5 is over, you kind of checked out for the day, not really knowing what else to do. So that for me, that was kind of an eye opener. I'm like, I have a lot more time than I think I do, and I really don't have to adjust anything I do. I go to sleep at 10 o'clock. I can wake up at 6 o'clock, and I still have 2 hours before work, and I have plenty of time after work before I have to go to bed again. So it was kind of nuts that I had that much time.
I think it's going to be hard to realize that though, right?
Oh yeah, because you feel like it's already cramped as it is, right? Like especially if you have that a basic 9 to 5 job, is you're already drained for the day. So at the end of the day, you really don't want to do anything. But if like you get home and you pencil in a 30-minute nap, you'd be surprised how much you can get done after that 30 minutes of just like a recharge. But yeah, no, for me, it definitely, I think the small little Netflix games and things like that I fill the void in my day with, I feel like I don't have a ton of time because I have too much of that.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now you
Okay.
go, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, so something that stood out to me was like how a lot of the successful people, they do the hard things first. Get those out of the way, because then like if you keep pushing them off, you're just going to dread it more and more. And then when it comes time to actually do them, it's going to be even tougher because one, you've been wearing yourself out doing all these other tasks, and two, it's just you've been putting it off. It's just like building up and just getting worse and worse in your head. So knocking those out first kind of releases some like energy, and you can just kind of focus on the easier things as the days go on.
Is a saying that I'm teaching my daughter is if you're gonna eat crap, eat it fast. So you knock out all the stuff you don't want to do early, you're done for the day. So all the sweet stuff you can snack on throughout the day.
I want to say that's a hard concept to grasp because we're so used to hearing, you want the little wins, right? You want the little wins. And this is kind of like reverse. You want to do that one big thing first before you do those little wins, because that one big thing first literally relieves all that tension off that shoulders, all the load. And so now you can knock out these easy things. You can. But if you do that one thing first, there's a book, if anybody's listening, it's called, this is actually the first self-development book that I read when I wanted to get into leadership with Camp Gladiator. There's a guy that I know, my mentor, high performer. I still don't know how he operates the way he does. Literally the highest performer I ever know in my life. And he gave me this book called Eat That Frog. And basically what the book is Eat That Frog is the first thing when you wake up in the morning, you need to find out what's the biggest, scariest thing that you need to do today. And you need to do that first. Because when you do that first, you have the most focus in the morning, you have the most energy in the morning, and you're able to just take both of those things, apply all that energy and get it done. Because like Chris said earlier, once the day goes on, your energy levels drop, your creativity drops, your want to work drops. And so when you get to that big task, you're going to push it off. And literally that big task dictates like the next big thing that's going to happen for you, and you're pushing it off.
That big thing becomes bigger in a sense.
It's two frogs.
Well, yes, there are some people who are opposite of us. So like in the book that we read, what was the book before?
Willpower Don't Work?
No, the one before that.
12-week, right? The 12-week thing? No.
12-week year.
No. Peak Performance.
Peak Performance.
It talks about some people perform better later in the day, and those are called owls. And then some people are, if you think about it, like early risers and then, your night owls, there's some people, their creative juices flow in the morning, where some people's flow later at night. So it's really knowing yourself and figuring that out. If you notice that you do a lot of the goodness in the later part of the day, then stick with it. I mean, that's your mind working to your natural clock.
I like
That makes
how
a
you
good
said
point.
that. Yeah, yeah, because I was actually, it's funny, I was just listening to a podcast today, and this lady, she owns a like a 7-figure like
She got
company,
money.
like she's making money, yeah. And she said that when she became an entrepreneur, she had all this extra time, and she realized that she works best after 4 p.m. But so I mean, she'll take meetings. She does. It's funny because she does what Vic was saying. Like first thing in the morning, she takes an hour, hour and a half to herself, meditate, eat, do whatever she needs to do, and then she gets ready and she said, "I don't take meetings until 10 in the morning. That's the earliest I'll take a meeting. But then I don't focus on the bigger things until 4 p.m. because that's when I'm at my peak." And then she's like, "Well, like like as far as my company goes, we still take meetings earlier than 10. I just delegate that to other people." Like yeah, it's like she's like, "I just don't take meetings at that time."
I think that comes to a next level, right? I think there's got to be phases, right? I think in general, let's start with taking the big thing first. And then if you feel like it's all trial and error, everything's trial and error. Like we want to speak as in general as possible so we can help as many people as possible. But there's going to be those outliers. There's going to be people where this information does not work. And so it all comes down to trial and error. And that always leads back to self-discovery. Like what works for you best? What diet works for you best? What works for me doesn't work for y'all. It's, it's always trial and error. But I want to lead to the next one on, how to run your day like a boss, how to on a millionaire, a billionaire. And this is probably maybe the most important one. And what I believe, right? This is what I believe is you need to plan the day ahead of time, right? Vic kind of mentioned it a little bit. If you don't plan your day, you don't know what's going on, you might be just reacting to things. But if you plan your day the night before, if you write down everything that you need to do for the next day, prioritize everything you need to do for the next day, know what's important, you're more like right there, you're going to be 50% more productive than if you just wake up and just let life happen to you. And I think that's like a big problem because I used to do this forever. I would wake up like a zombie, do the exact same thing day in and day out, no goal for that particular day. I would just wake up and let life happen to me. And then I would always wonder, well, how come I'm not getting closer to my dreams? And even when I got into entrepreneurship and I started with Camp Gladiator, I did the exact same thing for a whole year. I would wake up and just like, yo, what do I need to do? I don't know, just start doing stuff. And then when I got into leadership, it was like a throat check. When I got into leadership or wanting to get into leadership, these people who are making high income, who are operating at a high level that I knew nothing about. I just thought they made a lot of money. I was like, hey, I want to do leadership too, right? But the amount of like work, and me, I got the Mamba mentality. Hey, if you can do it, I can do it better. Like, let's go. So he's like, hey, show me your calendar. I was like, what's a calendar? What do you mean? Like from the store, Walmart, you want to get a calendar? He's like, no, like what's your schedule? What schedule, fool? Like, hey, get specific with me. What are you talking about? Oh, he's speaking foreign to me. But in his world, high performers, they operate off a calendar. They block their time. So planning ahead of time and blocking your time to make sure those things that you need to get done are getting done. Now, I want to challenge everyone. I think we've done this before is, hey, you don't have to keep doing this, but if you want to, it's great. But I want to challenge at least one time from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, what are you doing hour from hour? And that will tell you how successful you're going to be. That's going to tell you what you prioritize versus what you say you want to do. And the most successful people in the entire world, they block their time.
Definitely, you got to get organized with your time and be purposeful in what you're doing day, weekly, monthly. And I learned these skills again before CG as far as calendar and stuff like that. When I became a manager, like when it comes like you're a manager, or you're responsible for like an area department, a whatever, you definitely do have to have a calendar, gotta have things, because you can't remember everything, right? You can't remember everything. You gotta keep yourself organized and stuff like that. So yeah, I work on calendar lists. You have people that do to-do lists, right? Things that they do throughout the day, throughout the week, things like that. Things, knowing when things are due, knowing things where things need to be done. And so and just put reminders for. I have like in my computer, but it's broken. but I have reminders and virtual sticky notes for things. So there's like different things, categories and stuff like that. Even on my phone, there's different notes are categorized and things like that. I have reminders for everything. Like my wife's what is the doctor appointment is on Tuesday. It's a reminder for me the day before to remind me that the next day there's a doctor's appointment at 2 p.m. So like little things to remind you of things to keep you on track. And one of the things also, as far as time blocking, you mentioned is in the things that you said, guys, about tackling the hardest thing is actually knowing what your big rocks are. Knowing like what are the things that are going to get more value out of out of like your day, your week, or let's say a day or week, right? So if your goal is to do X or whatever, right? What is that thing, that big rock that's going to get you closer to that, right? So that's one of the things I learned is like doing the little things, you keep it off, and then focus on that big rock, right? Let's say you got 3 big rocks, 3 big goals for the day you want to accomplish. Focus on that first one. Yeah, focus on that first one and the little things, right? You focus on those after.
If you don't know how to time block or anything like that, YouTube it. But I started time blocking a long time ago. But I also did a daily calendar, like an actual workbook. And if you find the right one, I didn't come across this, but it tells you what exactly you need to do. They call it the big 3. And every night you'll go into the book, or every morning. It doesn't have to be every night. It could be like the first thing in the morning. You want to plan your day. And it literally says, like, what are the 3 things you need to do today that's going to make you feel accomplished? And, you write those out. And of course, you time block the rest of your day. You can handwrite from 6 a.m. to the time you wake up exactly what you're going to be doing day to day. But I find it, some people love paper pen. I just happen to work off my iPhone, like literally from 3 a.m. to the time I work out till the time my time blocking skills I think personally are a high level. It tells me when I'm eating. It tells me when I have family time. It tells me when I'm working out. It tells me when I'm meditating. It tells me, hey, when my kids have class, when they don't have class. Like it's always alerting me, keeping me focused, because if you don't have a set schedule or time put aside, you'll just keep pushing it off. And so it's like another reminder, hey, you should be doing this. I'm like, damn, I should be doing this. My bad. Like, all right, focus. But hey, what are some other things, right? Because there's more things. Time blocking, when you're morning, what we have?
Social media and YouTube. I'll fall in that YouTube rabbit hole. Like when I'm taking a break from work and I think it's like 5 minutes and I look up, it's an hour. YouTube, social media, anything that's just going to distract you from.
Who's your boss?
Yeah,
like quicksand.
Written up. Hour on YouTube.
Yeah, just getting rid of those distractions.
It's virtual work from home, bro. They're more lenient.
Are you on that call? Yeah, I'm on that call.
Some people gotten to the point where they bought a mouse that moves by itself if they're working from home.
Oh,
so that it looks like they're moving in their actual work and they're like gone.
I don't do that.
Damn.
Bro, that's crazy, huh?
Yeah. So apply that determination, discipline, something else.
No, but distraction. Yeah. I mean, it's something as simple as like putting your phone on vibrate and then putting it in another room, or even face down to where you don't even see it or hear it, like out of sight, out of mind. It can surprisingly enough, it'll keep you on task for longer than you think it would.
Eliminate the distractions is what Ian's saying. Eliminate them. I put Facebook and Instagram, all the social medias that I'm usually, attracted to. I put them on the very back of my phone in a folder. So that means I have to swipe a couple pages and then click on a folder. And hopefully by the time I do all those things, I realize, all right, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, right? It just gives me more time to be like, you're working this hard to get to this. Like, hey, chill, you should be focused on doing something else. So what are the things that trigger you? Let's remove them and let's stay focused, and refer to the book of peak performance. And don't be hard on yourself if you're working a couple hours and you lose focus, because max capacity, now this could range from person to person, but you can only stay focused for max, just in general speaking, about an hour and a half, guys. And so when you expect it to work in 8 to 5, like, you're not going to be, nobody's fully in from 8 to 5, right? You're going to doze off. You're going to like go into space. You're going to get on social media. And that's very normal. You only have an hour and a half. So what I read in this book is, understand you only have an hour and a half. Implement a 15-minute break, 10-minute break, 5-minute break. Go walk around, do some push-ups, go chill, watch a little YouTube if you have that self-development, and then get back in for another hour and a half segment. That way you're just way more productive in a short period of time, rather being, I want to be productive in an 8 period of time, you're really not productive at all. So knowing when to break, take that break, it's a necessary.
Look at it as a reward. Like, you went hard for an hour, you deserve 15,
my
20
brain's
minutes.
fried within an hour. I'm just like,
yeah,
I'll start walking around playing with while they're like in school, I'm just like messing with them. I do a little detour around the house, little house check, play with everyone. And, there's mini breaks, right? So you want to realize, all right, what mini breaks do you need? Are you good for 2 hours? Are you good for 1 hour, hour and a half? And then you want to go just a little bit bigger. Let's think weekly. Hey, one day you need to shut it off. Like, just no work, right? And typically for most people, that's Saturday and Sunday. But then you also need to think macro. I need to go on vacation. I need to completely just shut down from work and recover. And Victor hit it earlier, just that self-care, making sure you're recovering properly. Nobody wants to spend time on that because everybody wants to do the sexy stuff, which is work hard, get promotions, get money. That's the sexy stuff.
Well, ambitious people want to do that, you should say.
Yeah. You have a good knack at doing that. Like making sure that we're clear here. Not everyone.
Yeah, not everyone wants to work hard.
That's true, my man. What else we got?
No, I think you actually hit a lot in that one paragraph. It wasn't even a sentence. But you need rest. In that peak performance book, it says stress plus rest equals success. Like, you got to give yourself time to kind of chill out. But the trick is having it scheduled in your day so that you know when to stop and then when to start again. Because like I said, me, especially me, 8 to 5, even working from home 8 to 5, once 5 o'clock hits, sometimes I'll just chill for like 2-3 hours with doing nothing productive. I'm hanging out with my family, which is obviously a good thing, but I'm not doing anything to benefit myself or them. So yeah, that goes all the way back to the first point of blocking your day, planning your day. So
I'm a father, and that's one of the things, my pet peeve, when I hear people say it's family time, and they're confusing family time with sitting on the couch and then just being on the couch and the kids are in the room, or like other kids, like that really gets to me, because when I hear family time, it's like what Victor just did. It's very intentional, spending time with that individual, right? It's not sitting on the couch and just being around. That's not family time. You could be utilizing that time to benefit you, to grow in the area where you could be, benefiting your family. So that gets to me. Anyways, the biggest thing I think I also want to mention and throw in here is that we missed this one, but this is a huge one, is your routine. Like, if you're not in a routine, you're doing child's play. You're literally just playing around thinking you're doing something. But when you have a routine, when you have a system, that's when greatness really comes. That's when greatness comes. If you think about anybody that's the highest GOAT, Michael Jordan, you want to think like sports, you want to think, who's the next GOAT? Football. Tom Brady, right? Any Tiger Woods, they're routine, day-to-day, well-ordered machine. This time I'm doing this I'm doing this I'm doing this, and it is routine to the T, because your routine will dictate your level of success also. And I have a quote. What's the quote? It's a good quote. Let's see. You will never change you would what? I think I wrote the quote wrong. Let's see. You would never change your I put like instead of life. You would never change your life until you change something daily. The secrets to success is found in your routine. So if you're not doing something day to day that's trying to get you to your end goal, you're just playing around. There's no routine, there's no system, there's no habits created. And I think that's the hardest thing to get into is a routine. That's like really hard to get people into a routine to create a new habit, because for years we've done this: clock in, clock out, chill, go to bed, watch some TV, wake up to the exact same thing. I'm talking about years.
Rinse and repeat.
And then you just like fitness, you expect to change something for a couple of days and then you're supposed to get these massive results. Like, brother, like you're going to struggle with this new routine. You're probably going to fall off this new routine, and you're probably going to have to develop a new plan to make sure that you can follow the plan better. And you're going to have to probably go through this cycle for about 3 months before you can finally catch wind. You got to get through the storm when you're trying to find a new routine. You're going to make adjustments. Are you a night out that performs high level in the night? Or are you somebody in the, the average, normal, successful people? We like to get things early, right? We know the benefits of, we have energy. Let's go ahead and knock this out. So routine, what's y'all's routine? Do y'all even have one? Did you just get one? Because I think routine built who I am, and it's helped me with recovery, performance, self-awareness, gratitude, meditation, and the last one is self-development. All these things are in my routine every day. I wouldn't be the person I am today without it. And I couldn't give my love to everyone if I didn't do all that stuff for myself. What's y'all's routine?
I have I have my own routine, different things. If I'm not doing CG, but if I'm ready, like say on Tuesdays and Thursdays, usually I don't have a morning camp. And so I still wake up early to work out. I might go to camp. I might just work out on my own. But it's I wake up, I either get coffee or something or shake. I get that. I work out. I come in. After that, usually my son's awake. I get him going, breakfast. So I have all these things. I'm more of a planner of me. I have like throughout the day, I have when I'm doing something, when I'm about to do something. So about 10 o'clock on a regular day, when I don't have camp, that's when I'm getting to work. I'm doing some things, either whatever I'm planning for the day, or for that week. So that's normally more like my morning time is really where I get like most of my stuff done. So I'm not a 4 p.m. peak performance person. 4 p.m. I'm like, I feel like I wait. If I started to do something around 4 p.m., I feel like I wasted the whole day.
3 p.m. for me, I'm gassed. I'm checked out. Like, yo, I'm done. I've been up since 3 a.m. 4 p.m. to me is like,
yeah.
Now let's have Ian or let's have Chris talk, because they're not entrepreneurs. They have an 8 to 5. They got to clock in and clock out. What's the routine like for that?
Go ahead, Chris.
So for me, routine it's kind of difficult because my work schedule is always different. Like there's weeks I'm working 12-hour shifts. There's weeks I'm working 8-hour shifts. There's weeks I'm working 12s and 8s. So it's hard for me to set like a routine that works like on a weekly basis. One thing I do though in the mornings when I get up, I like to just listen to a podcast or something just to like relax and clear my mind. And whether it's just a comedy podcast or if it's a self-development podcast, just something just to listen to and like just like it's like my way of meditating in a sense. And then I'll get ready. I wake up early enough so I have a little time to do that and get ready and not feel too rushed going into work.
I want to go a little deeper, right? I want to help because I think majority of us are going to have 8 to 5, right? Whoever's listening to this. How do you have an 8 to 5 how do you manage that time? Because when you have that 8 to 5, like you're within these limits, you're within these walls. So let me ask you this: what are you doing during your lunch hour? Are you chilling? Are you relaxing?
Yeah, it varies. I mean, for me, to be honest, time management is not my best. My best, like I'm not the strongest in that. I've always, in the past, I've always thrived on procrastination. Like I always performed really well with because I put that pressure on me, and I've always performed. As I've gotten older, I've tried to break that a little bit because I'm sure I could perform better if I didn't procrastinate. Um, but that's something I still struggle with a little bit. And I am working on getting better at that.
All right.
I mean,
Well, I just want to. You're here on this podcast for a reason, Chris.
Exactly.
And so I just want to make sure, like, I wouldn't have asked you to do business with you if I didn't feel like you were doing things. And then when did you have time to read? If you're working 8 to 5, 12s and 8s and this crazy schedule, you made time to read. What was that time?
Um,
Because somebody
if I'm
listening
at,
is 8 to
yeah,
12, or somebody's doing 12 hours and say, I don't have time. Where
yeah,
did you
sometimes,
make time?
yeah, sometimes I'll read during lunch. If I'm at a certain location where I'm doing the outpatients, if I don't have outpatients, or if I don't have any patients there, like I'll read in between patients. I'll just find little gaps, 10, 15, 20 minutes here and there to try to get a little reading in, or after work when I get off, if I'm like, I'll try to read a little bit here and there too.
So there's some intentional reading.
Yeah.
Ian, he is an 8 to 5. And when I knew Ian, there was no self development, right? We just had a mutual connection through, I was his trainer. And then we just became cool and we started drinking together. And then we got to, build that relationship.
Chilling. Trouble.
But, I'm always trying to lead positively and, influence people to, help them in any situation they're in, whether health, fitness, mind, body, soul, like it doesn't matter. I'm always looking to impact. And so, Ian, what was working from 8 to 5? How did you do the self-development?
I got up earlier. So when I wasn't on the schedule, it was that wake up last minute, hop in the shower, get in the car, head to work. So for me, I got up, or would try to get up at least an hour to an hour and a half before I normally did. That way I could take time getting up, stretching, not having to rush. I'd hop in the shower and then driving to work, and also while getting ready, I would listen to a book. It's weird. Sometimes I like reading a book. I'm really picky with the books that I read. So if it's a book that I don't like, I'll listen to it just because it's convenient and it's there. But since COVID started, I've kind of tried to keep the same cadence, but I've added. I mean, some people meditate, but I pick up my Bible for like at least 15 to 20 minutes, or I'll listen to something on a Bible app, like a Devo. And then from there, I'll listen to my book for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then when work starts, I actually have a podcast running. So I'll work while I listen to that.
You just hit it. I was 8 to 5. And normal 8 to 5s, you don't have to have a lot of creativity doing 8 to 5, right? Because you're just in rhythm, you're just knocking some things out. Like it's, you're not having to deal with people majority of the time. Maybe you're in an office or like me, I was working on cars from 8 to 5. The entire day for about a year, there was a podcast in my ear. So when you said I don't have time, it's like, you have time. Like you could find time from the car ride to your work. You could be listening from your actual job because it doesn't require a lot of thinking and it's just your do, boom, 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 boom. You could be listening. There's always your lunch hour. When you say, okay, maybe I have to be present. Maybe I'm a waiter. I can't have an AirPod in my head while I'm waiting people. Oh no, you have break time. You could be listening, right? So anybody out there that's listening, what you're listening.
It's a win.
Anyways,
it's a win. Legit, it's a win.
It's a win. But there's always an opportunity for you guys to listen, to learn, to grow, to never think that you know it all, because there's never going to be that point. Even if you feel like, hey, whenever I get my 6-packs, I'm going to be done. I thought the same thing. You're never done. All right. You are never, ever done. And man, let's wrap this podcast up. I think we have some great points. I'm going to do a little recap because I have the list. All right. Let's do a little recap. I want to speak about the principles of mastering your day, running your day like a boss. Is you got to have a routine, you got to time block, and you have to have self-care. Like that's how you can put it on repeat. Because if you just time block and you get in routine and you just work hard, you're gonna hit the plateau. You're gonna fall.
You're gonna burn out.
You're gonna burn out, right? So just like fitness, I always tell Victor same thing. If you're gonna train hard, you're gonna recover just as hard, maybe even harder. All right, because you got to be able to keep that sustainable. So those are the principles I believe when it comes to running your day like a boss. You got to plan your day ahead of time, either the day before or in the morning. You need to prioritize your big 3 or your big 2 or your big 1. You need to eat that frog in the morning, that big scary thing. Or if it's not in the morning and maybe you're like Ian, you're a night owl, get it done then. And what else we got? We have, the distractions. Make sure you limit the distractions, those triggers. Maybe you're working from home and you work in the kitchen, you're always snacking, right? Don't work in the kitchen. eliminate some of these things. You need to recover, right? So every hour and a half, our max capacity doesn't go that long. It's okay to take a break and go play with your kids and I was slapping around. Oh my God. Play with your kids while they're on virtual. So, just have some fun with them.
I don't know what Jonathan does now.
Jonathan's running the hands with his boys.
And delegate the stuff that that you can delegate. Save yourself some time. If you know somebody, some things that you don't like to do, well, guess what? There's people out there that love to do those things. And so, hey, delegate those. Don't have that pride to give away, and learn to say no. All right, just sometimes it's just like, nope, sorry. Like, take care of yourself, take care of your mental space. Just nope. And find what motivates you and keep doing what motivates you. I don't care if clipping your toenails motivates you to do better during the day, then clip your toenails. Like, I don't care what it is. I listen to motivational speakers every day, first thing in the morning, motivational quote, first thing in the morning. It's just fueling my mind, getting me ready for the day. Like, you don't have to do that, if whatever works for you. I think Victor, he likes to rub his ear like in the morning. It's weird. He just does this and it motivates him. But hey, I'm not here to judge what Victor does, because if it motivates him, it motivates him. So find what motivates you and just keep doing that. And I think if you have this list of 10, focus on one, and you might get a little bit better than what you are today.
That's a good one. Nugget, awesome. Writing it down. Hour in.
Let's go. Hour. Hey, we've been doing this for an hour. If you haven't listened to the last podcast, it was an hour. This one's going to be an hour. We're going to keep it at an hour. I think we're doing good.
Yeah, we average like an hour and a half, an hour 45 before. But all right. Chris, what you got for the week, man?
You say Chris or Vic?
Chris Topher.
I am meeting up with the financial advisor again.
Yes.
Discuss some things, see what kind of plan he has set up. Dentist appointment, got to take care of those teeth. And I need to start reading my book this week. Hopefully the book that I ordered comes in. If not, I'm going to just start reading another book that I have on hand.
If anybody just listened to what Chris said, if you didn't take anything away from this podcast, just go get a financial advisor. Just go and do it.
The credit card guru didn't have a financial advisor. Vic, what you got for the week, man? Actually, shout out to your little girl. Happy 5th birthday.
Yeah, her birthday was today. 5 years old. Man, time flies, man. She's the only girl, so man, it's crazy. She's crazy, man. She's crazy. She's a great personality. If you spend 5-10 minutes with my daughter, you'll find out how much personality she has.
It's a ton.
Yeah. So she's funny, but 5 years old. And then for the week, I'm just planning for next month. I got some nutritional tips that I'm working on every week, so I'm gonna put that together this week. It's a shorter week for Camp Gladiator, so spending some more time getting that knocked out for next camp. That's pretty much the biggest things I'm working on this week.
Nice. What you got, Jonathan?
I need to get organized in the house, because the faster I can get organized, the faster I can get into a routine, faster I can get to routine, the faster I can get back to my day-to-day grind. Routine. It's gonna make you, it's gonna break you.
True. I finally got on a routine last week, and I got to stay on it because I have a habit of not staying consistent. So that's going to be the big thing. We'll say second biggest thing. Number one, I got to be on the ready because
Besides my biceps.
It's the lighting. Don't let it fool you.
This is good lighting.
Anyways, before I close it out, I want to ask for a favor, I guess you could say. So on whatever platform you're listening to or watching, we would appreciate a like, rating, a comment, some feedback. We would appreciate it. If you watch on YouTube, do me a favor. Let us know what side of the bed you sleep on and why. If you're not watching on YouTube, if you're on Spotify, Apple, or Google, go to YouTube and let us know. We would appreciate a subscription just to help us out. Just lets us know the demographic of who we're talking to so we can adjust our topics. But beyond that, I'm gonna leave with a quote from Mr. Charles Darwin, who says, "A man who dares to waste 1 hour of time has not discovered the value of life." We are all meant to be great. We were born great. As always, thanks for joining us today. Until next time, peace and love.